The CRO price made a massive move to the upside of about 22% after the news of the first filing for the official CRO ETF. But what is this ETF all about? And do we have more good news on the horizon for the CRO price? Well guys, I would say let's strap in and let's find out. This video is sponsored by Interlude, the play to earn game on the Cronos chain. The last few days for CRO have been quite a roller coaster because we went first as low as about 8.9 cents, just above our target line here. But luckily, after the news of this CRO ETF, we went all the way up to about 11 cents even. So guys, about a 2-cent move in only hours. So guys, I would say there is some momentum building, and also finally some pieces of the puzzle are finally coming together. So good news on the horizon. About we're going to talk a lot more, but first let's talk about this CRO ETF. But the CRO ETF, guys, is not officially out yet. You can see here the tweet by CEO Chris Marszalek, but it is only being filed now. So we got the S1 file here for the SEC, and that means it is right now being registered. But first, it will go into review at the SEC. Typically, it can take about 6 to 12 months before it is fully approved and we get an actual IPO here for the first ever CRO ETF. So guys, it will take until Christmas, give or take, at the minimum for this to actually come to fruition. But still, it is a very good step because this will enable institutions and also other retail investors that are really active on the stock market to get some foothold in the Cronos ecosystem. I will leave a link to the complete S1 form in the description down below, but we'll show you a few key elements here of this document. And for example, you can find all the risks and all details about the custodian, Crypto.com here in this document. But what I find interesting is that this is not just a CRO ETF, it's a staked CRO ETF because Crypto.com will be staking this for you on their Cronos POS chain. So anyone getting into the CRO ETF will get a yield of about 3.25%. Previously, staking products like this ETF were a big no-no for the SEC due to the expectation of profit due to the yield of the staking. But now with the new administration of Trump, we do say that the SEC is a lot more lenient toward these products. So I'm actually glad that people can get a bit of yield on their ETF as well. The filing also puts forward risk factors. For example, it shows that CRO has been extremely volatile in the past, and that also there can be market events like, for example, the FTX default, like in November 2022, that really affected, for example, Solana. So we do mention that as a risk factor, but I find this one on page 25 the most interesting one because they also do mention, well, that CRO may be subject to dilution. So currently it is a total supply of 100 billion, but as you guys know, it is possible to put forward a governance proposal to increase supply even more. So do take that into consideration. It is put forward here as another risk for the CRO ETF. Moreover, this filing has 105 pages and Crypto.com is only mentioned 10 times, and never in relation really to the value of CRO, but only as a place where you can trade CRO or as the custodian really of this ETF. So it is very clear that for this filing, they don't want to show any relationship between the two, but it has been their storyline already for quite some time. Overall, there are no big negative surprises in the S1 filing. That is also why the CRO price is moving up like this here on the chart. But like I mentioned in the beginning, there are more pieces to the puzzle why we're going up. For example, what we're seeing here on the rainbow chart, but also what is happening soon with this AMA. But more about that, guys, after a quick word of today's sponsor. Interlude is a play to earn game on the Cronos chain. And the cool thing about Interlude is that you can find actual treasures with CRO in it. Normally, you need to buy that Interlude token on their website to play the game. However, right now, you can earn for free with their rate to earn program. You have to like, quote, comment or retweet on Twitter to earn their in tokens for free. Check them out in the links in the description down below. Anyways, let's get back to the CRO chart, because what we're doing now is slowly building the foundation for the CRO price. It is very much unlike what we've seen in November 2024 with this big pump, but also a very quick dump. Because what we didn't do back then, guys, is build a very strong foundation. But now we're actually flipping resistance into support at a far better pace. And what I also like, we are really building some momentum here, because it is not only this ETF, it is also, for example, this AMA. And this one is actually quite important. This is happening on June 11th at about 6 p.m. CST time. But what is important here is that this will be the first AMA ever with Mirko. Mirko is the new Cronos lead, and he will be talking with Elder Carl, which is actually quite a well-known community member, especially on X. And he's doing a daily space, guys, so check him out if you haven't done so yet. But typically he's doing open stages. This one, though, will a bit more structured, but still I do believe we'll have a very open-minded space here. So I do hope we'll get some good questions, and also in general some constructive feedback, how we're actually going to work on this chain and how we're going to approach this in a very positive way. But okay, so this is happening, guys, on June 11th, really keeping that momentum going, hopefully. But also, let's go back to the charts, guys, because I promised you something else here, and it is very, very, very huge in my opinion, because if we're going to close the week like this, we actually flipped the 21-week into support. The 21-week simple moving average is very instrumental for any future pumps, guys. Let's take a look at this one. Take a look here. We flipped it into support, and we actually tested it once here, and we even went higher to about 20 cents. So this is very important, guys, for our next steps towards 20 cents. But first, before we go to 20 cents, if you take a look at our chart here, I do feel like we first need to go to 12 cents. That will be our first destination. And after we reach 12 cents, we'll slowly go towards 14 or 15, and then 20 cents. That will be our first real test. I have to say, though, that what I'm seeing now on, for example, Bitcoin dominance chart as well is looking very, very promising. So far, we had 3 touches on this growth line, and every time we get a rejection. So I do believe, guys, that also altcoin season is coming very, very soon. You can see that also, I think, on the Ethereum chart, because what we are building here is very much like a pennant. So this, guys, is also, I think, breaking out very soon to the upside. And then we can see a big collapse, I do believe, of Bitcoin dominance, and also a further move up for CRO Bitcoin. But also there, guys, I think this will potentially go down to this range again. This might be a bit of a premature pump, but at least we're going into the right direction once more. So I am actually very happy to see that we're building not only versus Bitcoin, but also versus the dollar. And we're actually creating some good support here for the CRO token. Guys, I really can't be more bullish just based on what I'm seeing here on the chart. So this is looking very, very, very good. In all honesty, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very glad that our patience is finally paying off, because I was also feeling a lot of negativity after the 70 billion CRO burn. But I do believe that basically since we had that announcement and since we had the AMA, we only went to the upside. So this is, guys, it seems like we're going into the right direction. Altcoin season is coming. Bitcoin is still moving up to new all-time highs. Things are looking up. So, guys, what are your predictions? Let me know in the comments down below. And don't forget to hit the like button, strap in, and also just watch this video here, because I do have some more explanation about the rainbow chart if you haven't seen it yet.